So, as we said, we're straightening out spaghetti with AngularJS. I'm Patrick Kedden, I'm a developer at Urban Outfitters, the brand specifically. So jQuery, I assume that if you're a developer and you know what I'm talking about, you know about jQuery. It's amazing. It's one of the best pieces of software that was ever released to the front-end development world. It's wonderful. You can write less and do more until you need to do a lot of stuff, at which point you kind of, code that starts out like this ends up looking like this really, really quickly. But that's not the problem about jQuery. The problem is that jQuery wasn't meant to do that. It's a DOM manipulation library. It's not an application library. So if it's not jQuery, what should we use? You can guess by the title. I think it's AngularJS. AngularJS is an MVC framework by Google. It's very similar to Backbone, which was mentioned earlier. It's also really similar to Ember.js, but it's way better than both of them. And the reasons why I think that are as such, first of which is it has super simple two-way data binding. So basically with this 3 lines of code, literally if you use just these 3 lines, I can do something like this, where as I type, the template below gets updated. Not only that, if you have multiple inputs, it updates it on any part of the page. So it's extremely quick to do something essentially in 2 lines that would normally take about 15, 20 to do in jQuery, and that's just in a single instance. It is probably 100 lines to do this in multiple instances anywhere in a page. So you end up ripping out a ton of possible code. Number 2 is even simpler templating. So you can do stuff like this, where essentially you just set a variable of a whole bunch of different objects. So we have like different types of MVC frameworks. We have their name on the website. All we have to do is say for all of the items in MVC frameworks, we want to print out their name and print out their website. And then we get something like this. In 1 line of code, something that might take 15, 20, 30 lines in jQuery. It's extremely powerful and makes your code tight, terse, and beautiful. Finally is this really technical thing called directives, that ng repeat thing. If anybody here is a developer, it's also kind of known as web components. It's also known as Xtags in Firefox. This is something kind of specific to Angular. So we're going to make one real quick, where for Markdown. Markdown's a blogging language, essentially. You take stuff on the left, right here, all these different dots and dashes, and turns it into fully functional HTML. So essentially, we want to create a new HTML element called Markdown, where we can put in literal Markdown values and have it render HTML. This is all you need to do it. You just create a new thing called a directive, name your tag, and then you grab the element that is Markdown, convert it using our conversion library here, and then set its HTML to the converted HTML value. And then as a result, this literal up here is literally just this code. It ends up outputting actual italicized text and strong text in a couple minutes. So this is obviously a very simplistic example, but you can make incredibly complex things really, really quickly. There's the official Angular site is a great place to find out more information, and then my name at Twitter/GitHub anywhere else as well.
Thanks. Thank you, Patrick.